Welcome to Maker Conversations. I'm your host, Tiff Marchand from Night Carver Designs, and today on the show, I have Deandra from Workboots and Glasses. I've been following her journey for a few years now, and I'm really excited to see that she's grown to the point where she needed a bigger space and was really pumped to kind of find out how her journey has led her there. And it's interesting because I wouldn't have expected it to be what brought her there, but it was really cool to find out. So I hope you enjoy getting to know her, and a huge thank you to the sponsors of the show, Sabertooth Power Carving and Starbond. You guys are both amazing. You know, I love Sabertooth Power Carving. They are my go-to burrs, and if you want to save 10%, you can use in all caps Night Carver 10. And Starbond, who offers so many things now, it's pretty amazing. I've got their new mother of pearl that I'm going to be trying to do some inlays with, and a bunch of other things. You can actually save 15% there if you use CARVER15. So go check them out. They have literally been expanding their product line like crazy, and it's really nice to be able to get so much stuff at one time at a place. So make sure you support the sponsors of the show, get yourself some goodies, and let's hear about Deandra. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, good. Oh no, I just saw you just posted a little while ago. So she's still out there working, huh?
Yeah, no, right. But I had to come back because I recorded before and then post, and that's where I
figured as much. I was like, she's just chilling.
Yeah. Do you mind if I drive while I do this?
Give it a try.
Okay, I'm gonna try it, and then
I'll let you know if it's awful.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's too much, I'll swap back. I literally just gotta take my daughter up the street, and of course, you know, they want to message you right when I got on here talking about I'm ready now.
Totally fine. No, do what you need to do, and we can hang out. It's a good time for us to get to know each other too.
Okay, sounds good. I'm swapping right now.
Okay. How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
3, okay.
Yeah, and all daughters, and of course they're a little prima ballerina-ish. You know, that whole it's all about me. But they're good kids, but you know, it's awful timing.
It's tough being a girl and living with all girls, especially if you're different than them.
That doesn't help this. Okay, as soon as I told her, like, I was like, if she, like, mind you, she asked me to take her somewhere like around 4:30. Mm-hmm. So I told her, if it's before 5, I can take you. If it's after 5, I'm not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah, because you're in Cali. Yeah,
I'm ready. Yeah, she's like, I'm ready. I was like, no. Yeah, I was like, and I'm not taking her far. That's her saving grace.
So. No, I don't mind at all. Listen, okay. This is life. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's tough to do a podcast when you're on the East Coast and like so many people are on the West Coast. So I always get everybody at the worst time when they're, you know.
I know, it's crazy. I saw a comment, not a comment. I got a Calendly for another, what's it called, person who wants to do a phone interview.
Yep.
And I'm not sure where they are, but their availability was like 6:30, 6 o'clock a.m. And I was like, whoa. Yeah. So I was like, dang, where are you? Because I was like, I'm not getting up at 6, you know what I mean, for a phone call.
No, exactly.
But I'm awake at that time. So
I'm like 8 p.m. or if you need it during the day, just let me know and we'll figure that out because I can. Yeah. You know what I mean? I've just always done 8 for me because it's like my late night talk show type of vibe, you know, like.
See, and I get that. Yeah. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I want it to be super relaxed. I want you, if you're going to have a drink or anything else, you know, you want you to be chill. Whereas,
there you go.
As you know, if you have it at 6 a.m., you're getting that person like as they just rush through whatever they have to do.
Yeah. Right.
And they're super
you know,
stressed.
That morning voice. Yeah. That morning deep voice when you first wake up.
Hello.
Right.
I'm ready.
Like, are you all right? Exactly.
You haven't given me time to drink my tea. No, I'm not all right.
Right? Totally get it.
I saw you had a podcast with Ethan. I didn't have a chance to listen to it, but that had to be a fun experience.
It was. I've done that would have, I don't know if you saw that the very first one I did with him was that one was more like longer. The 60-second one, that was like Spitfire questions. Yeah, that one was actually pretty cool because I liked he put a little spin on how he did it this time, and I was like, oh, this was kind of fun because it was so quick. It was just straight to the point. So that one was a little quick blurb of get to know you.
I'm always curious if that was recorded really in 60 seconds or he just chopped it down. You know what I mean?
He had to chop it down. But
yeah,
the whole interview, I was like, the whole interview, I think was like maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes tops because of making sure that I answered the question right. And then, of course, he was just going to do his editing for it anyway. But yeah, because I was like, did I answer the question? Things like that. Make sure that I gave him what he needed in enough time frame.
Yeah, like that can be a little bit anxiety ridden for me to be like, okay, you got to answer it quick and you got to answer it right. Be ready.
Right. Exactly. And hopefully it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to come up with those quick answers.
You're like, can I do it again?
I know. And that's what I was like, I probably shouldn't even ask that. So I'm going to just go with it. Hopefully it works.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I scrolled your page. I like to go to the very beginning to kind of see like how you started and what you were into. And it looked like you had a completely different purpose when you first started your whole page.
So did.
Yeah.
I so did. Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Ended up, yeah, we can. When I first started out, I was just blogging about my sharing my testimony, my faith about how I was getting through tough times.
Okay.
And then that emerged. Yeah. And then that emerged into when I lost my name. Somebody bought out my name when I went to renew it, and I had missed it by a day.
Oh,
and because I missed it, I know it sucked because I didn't even spell it traditionally. You know what I mean? I had 2 E's in me, and when whoever bought it, and I was just like, and I couldn't renew it. It was like for years, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, how do you buy? You know what I mean? Like, how did I miss this? And how did somebody else buy it so quickly?
For those that don't know, what was the name of it?
Unapologetically Me, and me was spelled MEE.
Oh.
Yeah, right. So I was like, how do you take that? Like,
yeah,
I had to figure out how to put it differently because I wanted to use unapologetically me, but still in a way that made sense. I didn't want to spell unapologetically stupid because it just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was, and I was trying to use my name, and I was like, that's not gonna work. So, but I missed it by a day, and somebody bought it out. So I needed to change my name, and I went with Repurpose and Design. And when I was going with Repurpose and Design, I ended up using that, but not fully sold on it, but had to use that name for it. And then as I was doing that, I was like, oh, because I'm sharing my faith, but also sharing my DIY projects in my house. I was like, okay, I can kind of twist this in a sense where I can still show photos of what I'm doing in my home, as well as blogging about what my testimony type thing.
Yeah.
And then of course that was, stuff happened where life comes at you. I started teaching online, and my schedule got super crazy, and I was up at all odd hours of the night trying to teach, and
oh man, what
sleeping
were you teaching?
During the day. Online to ESL to kids in China and Russia.
Wow.
And I had to teach at like 3:00 in the morning to like 6:00 in the morning.
That's a tough life.
Oh my gosh, right? And then I get at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. because their schedule, they're like, I think like 18-hour or so difference or something like that from us. So when they're up, we're sleeping. When we're sleeping, they're awake, like their morning type thing, So
did you have the kids too while you were doing that?
Oh, definitely. Right.
Ooh.
So I would get up, teach from 3 to 6, sleep for maybe 10 to, probably really not even 10, 15 minutes because your body can't even fall asleep that fast.
Just rest.
Get my kids up. Yeah, exactly. Just lay there till my alarm clock goes off. Get my kids up for school, take them to school, then come home and then knockout. You know what I mean? And then I would sleep until it was time to pick them up from school, come home, try to get them whatever I needed to do before like practice, try to cook dinner, because I knew once I started teaching, I wasn't going to be able to stop.
Yep.
And had my husband would pick him up from practice while I was at home teaching. And then as soon as I was done, eat dinner after 8 o'clock, you know what I mean? And then do the whole thing all over again. So
it's amazing what we can do, right? Like what we can make work.
Right?
It is.
That is so. It is. It totally is, because I would have never saw that for myself either. But it was just something to do because I was like, oh, this seems cool. But I didn't even realize either. Like when I first saw it, I thought it was a scam. Teaching online. I saw the Facebook ad for exactly. I saw the Facebook ad for teaching online, and I was just like, is this real? So I was like, but let me see, because I kept seeing a lot of people apply and talk about how, yeah, it is real. So I was like, okay, let me see what happens. I sent in my stuff. They called me back for a little interview. I had to act like I was teaching a class, and they were like, okay, yeah, you're hired. I was like, and then
amazing.
I was like, whoa.
And here's your schedule. Like, enjoy.
Exactly. I was like, well, dang. Okay. So I was like, well, it was exciting. So I was like, let's see how I can do this. And I tried it out, and I was like, okay, I can wake up and, go to sleep. But at the same time, it was still just like, this is, after so long, you're kind of over, you know what I mean? Your body is like, okay, look, I want to go to sleep right now. So
I can see the only advantage of that,
of course,
is like, if you're working at night, you know what I mean? The kids are sleeping, hopefully. So at least you get to work in peace. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yes. That was a saving grace during school. During summer, it was like, why are they awake right now? And how come I can hear them? So I remember like waking up, like trying to get them, not waking up, but like hearing them during a class, thinking I was tripping, like, what is going on? I go downstairs to like see what's happening, and my daughter has her friends over, and they're just chilling downstairs. I'm like, hey, you gotta be quiet. So that was when they weren't in school, it was a whole nother, that I'm not asleep because it's summertime and I could be awake this late right now.
It's so much more manageable when you can have those moments to rest. I get it. Yeah,
definitely. And then COVID happened, so then you're like, we're at home doing nothing. It's like, let me figure something else out to see, to kind of help with the boredom in a sense. And I was like, oh, let me see if I can make some furniture. But because we're at home, social media was like all in your face, because that was pretty much all we could do. So I saw people, like the accounts I followed, I stumbled across Our Nest on Powell, and she was making an arched cabinet, and I was watching her make that, and I was like, this is kind of cool, so I was like, oh, how did you know how to do this? Did you follow a plan? And she was like, no, I just wanted to do it, thought it was cool, I just saw something I wanted to make and thought it was cool. And I was like, are you kidding me? And she's like, yeah, I just kind of learned, self-taught. I'm like, wait, she taught herself? Oh my God, that's dope. So let me see if I can do that too. I went from like watching all her highlighted stories in like in the middle of the night. Like, then I was up till like 1 o'clock in the morning watching her stuff. And
but you're learning. Like, you learn
so
inspired
much by it. What'd you say?
I said you learn so much by watching, though. Like, it's incredible.
Right? I was so inspired by it that the next morning I got up, went to Home Depot, bought a miter saw, and was like, okay, I'm going to try it.
Yes.
And that's kind of where I left off with, learning how to do what I do, because I got inspired by somebody watching them do it. So I was like, this, and then, and then enjoyed that so much that I kind of stopped teaching, because I wanted to, I needed to sleep, but I was so excited about making furniture that it was like, I think I like this more. So the kids in China went on holiday, and like I didn't open up my schedule. Gotta be kidding me. I didn't open up my schedule back up to teach again when they went on holiday. And I just kind of was like, okay, let's do this. But it wasn't even like I didn't have it made out for a business for me. It was more of I wanted to
Something you
just
want to
learn.
do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wanted to learn because I wanted to replace the IKEA pieces in my house.
Got you.
And as I was sharing that on my social media, just because I was excited about it, that's when I got requests to say, hey, how much would you sell that for? Or, or what would you, can you make me something for my backyard? Or I think this is cool. Can you make me one in this size? Or can you stain it or make it bigger or smaller? And I was like, are y'all serious? So it was just something that I didn't even expect people to take.
I was going to ask you that, like, how you started building your, client base, because it seemed like you made some stuff and then you were just working, like,
Yeah.
constantly busy. And I was just like,
Yeah.
that is
Crazy,
so
right?
impressive. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, I didn't even recognize that people were watching and following along and being invested in it as much as they were because I was learning,
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I was just doing this because it was something that I've always wanted to do. I just didn't know how to get started. I thought I needed somebody to help guide me. And it was pretty much like, let me just give it a try and see what happens, It was like,
Mm-hmm.
but the tools did scare me. It was the loud noise and the blades and all that
So
stuff
that's
that
like completely new to you. Like, you didn't
right,
grow up with people
exactly,
doing that or
exactly.
anything. Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing with this. Do I press this button? Does my hand, you know what I mean? Can I hold this and cut at the
Yeah.
same time because it needs to be still? But
Growing up,
like I
did you
was
not
telling my
have like a lot of
yeah,
people who did that kind of stuff in your life?
no, not at all. I had
Gotcha.
nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had nobody. Like I remember thinking like, oh, there's no way I'm going to be able to use that because that I'm scared of that and nobody's going to show me because I don't know anybody who does
Yeah,
this to
exactly.
say, hey,
Who's
can
gonna
you show
help
me?
guide me?
You
Yep.
know?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I didn't have that. So when she was sharing that, she was like, no, I just kind of went along with it just because she was dealing with the grief of the loss of her sister and she was sharing that
Oh.
that helped her. Yeah. And I was just like, that's I feel that because when I got into like DIYing when my husband joined the military and left for boot camp, I was like, what am I about to do? What I
Yeah.
mean? He's gonna
I've
be
got these
gone. I gotta raise
kids.
three
Yeah.
kids by myself. Yeah, I was like, this is crazy. Like, and I'm like, okay, how do I balance my life, making sure the kids are taken care of, and
Mm-hmm.
then dealing with him not being here at all? Like, there's no go talk to your daddy.
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
there's none of that. So
That's
I got
tough.
into yeah, definitely. I got into DIYing, but not to the degree that I do now. It was pretty much just like painting and staining and finding
Mm-hmm.
cute pillows and rugs and stuff like that,
Yeah,
like
but you inched your
surface
way
level
in.
things.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's how it started.
Yeah.
So then when we bought our house, I was like, we bought our house and we knew that we were going to keep some things builder grade because we knew once we got in, we were going to change it later. And
Mm-hmm.
builder grade stuff costs so much more money than actually doing it after the fact. But I was like, I'm sure we can figure out how to do this ourselves because I was into trying to learn how to do all that DIY stuff
Yep.
that when my husband was deployed after we bought our house, I was like, I'm going to do it because he's not here to stop me. so,
Yeah. It's kind of fun. You
so
don't have not to answer to, but like to consult with. It's like,
yes,
oh, I can just make choices. This is great.
yes. Well, see, the thing is, I would ask him, hey, do you like this? Do you think this is good? Or, what do you think about this type of floor? Do you like this kind of color? You know what I mean? So he was
Mm-hmm.
pretty much answering me as I was picking stuff out, but he knew that, well, he didn't know, but you know what I mean? It's funny. One day he asked me, what is this for? Why do you keep asking me these questions? I'm like, I'm just curious. I'm just trying to, because I wanted to surprise him before he came home, from his
Yep.
deployment. And so I pulled up carpet. I had somebody come in and paint all downstairs. I painted our kitchen cabinets. And laid down vinyl flooring. And I was like, dude, this is so much fun.
It's addicting, like, because you can see the
It
instant
is,
impact on your life that those changes
man,
make, you
right?
know?
Right. And my kids were watching me do that. And they're like, Mommy, this is so cool. This looks so good. And
Mhm.
having them feel that way about it too. As I was going through it, I was just like, wow. The transformation for me was like, I'm really doing this,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So
Yep.
yeah, I had such a good time doing that. That it was like I wanted to do more, you know, after that was done. So, but I didn't know what else to tackle, you know? It's like at
Yeah.
that point, it was like, okay, now what? So
It's funny
yeah.
when you were talking, I was like, I had all IKEA furniture too, and I had to get rid of it too. But I never had
Mm-hmm.
that story of like I started building my own furniture because my husband, when I met him, worked at a furniture place as a salesman. So he just replaced
See,
everything. I had to hook up. So I
that
avoided
is
the whole
dope.
building phase of life.
See, I probably if I would have had that, it probably would have been different. My story probably would have been different too.
Right? Isn't it
But
crazy? I
hmm
grew up working with tools, so like I was raised around them, but like I always upgraded the house, never like the actual furniture. So yeah, I was listening to that story. I'm
see,
like, that's so
that's
funny.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Go, Mike.
Yeah, I've seen I know I was like I've seen that like how people buy like the older homes and upgrade, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like we bought our house brand new and there really wasn't much to do besides just make it look prettier
Yeah.
because we just went with the basic, you know what I mean? Like we
Mm-hmm.
knew we were gonna the kids were young, they were just gonna run all over the carpet. So
They
we
sure
waited till that
do.
needed, you know what I'm saying? We waited till that needed to be replaced before pulling it up. I think I'm trying to think what else. There was just a lot of things that were in here that it was like there's nothing really that because we couldn't like tear down walls. We couldn't at least that wasn't what I was going to do. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I didn't
It wasn't in the
and I
cards.
exactly that was not even something I felt comfortable enough doing anyway. And then our backyard is not like it's not big at all. So our like even trying to like extend it that wouldn't we couldn't go that way because our backyard's not that big. So like we knew what we needed and we got what we needed for the time that we when we bought. So, you know, it
We
works
got
for
the
us. Of course we
two-car
want like
garage,
yeah, you know, exactly. Yep, we got that and that worked for us. It was just like now that we're here, it would be nice to have to spread out in a sense where the kids um can have like because I wanted like a loft area. So once you know my
Mm.
nieces and
Mm-hmm.
nephews and stuff come over, they don't have to be confined to one person's bedroom. Like, cause my oldest daughter, she's like, nope, y'all can't come in here. My middle was like, you can't come in here either. So everybody ends up gravitating to my youngest daughter's bedroom.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
She's like,
So
welcome.
yeah, right. And then you got like 7 kids in her bedroom and it's hot. And she's like, mommy. It's like, girl, y'all can go to the park then.
Right?
You know, so
It's
yeah,
it's
but
hard getting
that's the
kids to go
only thing.
outside.
Oh no, I know. Isn't that crazy?
That is
But yeah, it worked out.
that's awesome though. Like, and then it just seems like tables have just like caught your love and affection. Like that just seems to be your jam.
Seriously. And
Yeah.
the crazy thing is I just did it because I wanted to play around with um just different designs of tables. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I was like I saw like every time I saw a table I liked, I wanted to make it just to kind of give myself that uh experience, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in learning how to do something different and not making the same one all the time. But that fluted table is one that I make a lot because people love it. And I started it just because I was trying to get rid of a tabletop that I had and I didn't know I wanted to do something different with the base instead of
Mm-hmm.
just throwing on some hairpin legs, you know?
Yeah, so you
So
got excited and did a little experiment.
yeah, and then the crazy because I was like, I don't have room for it. I sold it for $400. And I got so many people who reached out to me about that table that I was like, I wonder if I put that back on Marketplace as a custom made table, show how it's made, if I'll
Mm.
still get the same response. And I do. I mean, not as many people, but still
Yeah.
enough to, you know, keep orders in that sense, you know? So yeah,
Is that where
it
you do
worked
like the
out.
majority of your business since it is like more of a local thing since you're got, big
Yes.
objects? Yeah.
Yes, yes. And it's crazy how people find me on Marketplace because I thought that everybody who was finding me would be closer to me, but they're like Bay Area. So they're like an hour and a half or so away. So when I find out like they're not even close, I'm like, oh shoot, you're not even in Sacramento.
You're like,
You
you
know?
want to travel for this?
Right. Well, you know what? Because the first time I made it, I didn't pay attention to the address. That when I asked them about delivery and she gave me her address, I was like, where is this? I was like, oh my gosh. So that's when I started asking for people's addresses, like in my form, because she contacted me on Facebook. And of course, you can't get there, all that information,
Yep.
you know what I mean, beforehand. So that was my first time, a learning
Do you
experience,
deliver
of
all
course.
of your tables, or do people pick them
But
up?
yeah, pretty
Yeah, you
much.
deliver. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to continue to do it myself or kind of get some help in that area, because I'm noticing when I have to drive further out, that's like my whole day. So,
Yeah.
I'm driving in the morning an hour away, delivering, and then coming back another hour and a half. And then I'm at that point, it's like, okay, I don't want to do nothing else. You know what
Yeah,
I
it's
mean?
like, can I just get a service that's gonna take care of
Yes,
this for me and come pick them up?
exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's what I'm thinking of doing. I contacted a company about it, and they thought, we just gotta. That's what I told them. I was like, once I know who's gonna be wanting delivery, I can reach out to them for all that stuff to
Yeah.
get a quote to be able to charge accordingly. But yeah, I've
Oh,
been the
that's
one
tough.
doing it all. I know, I
And then you probably
know.
have to wrangle people to help you every time, right? Or do you?
Definitely. And
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
And then,
Yeah.
trying to work around my husband's work schedule, it's
Mm-hmm.
like either we can deliver on weekends, which is like who wants to do that because that's his time off,
Yep.
or I'm going by myself during the day just to be able to get it out of the way so I can still be home before, you know what I mean? Traffic gets crazy
I
during
feel bad for all
when
the
people get off
partners of
work.
us entrepreneurs.
You know what I'm saying? Right? But
Like,
majority of the time, it's like I can't even get my husband to help because he um has to drive an hour to base. So when he comes home, he's like, I don't want to do that right now. I'm like,
yeah.
see, I'm like, dude. So I gotta, I usually have to figure it out anyway.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it. It's a lot. My husband doesn't really get involved with my businesses at all. Like
See,
but he takes care of the kids, so I can't complain. You know what I mean? Like,
right? Yeah,
so when he's home, it's like I do have to like drag him. Can you just film me for like 3 seconds? And then it
right.
becomes like a fight. Like, how do you want me to stand? Where should I
Yeah,
go? You're like, oh my God,
yeah.
I should have just fought with the
It shouldn't be
tripod.
this difficult.
Yeah. I should have just fought with the tripod instead.
That's usually what I end up doing.
Yeah.
Because like you said, trying to get people who are gonna like actually care about recording you is like
Mm-hmm.
frustrating. It's like, come on, if this was you, you'd be all into it. But because
So funny.
it's
Like
not.
at like maker events, it's so cute. We all just jump in and start recording each other because we
See,
know the pain. You
we
know
know
what I
what it's
mean?
like. Yeah,
Yeah. Like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Give me your phone. I'll get some shots for you. Like
Right?
I was up visiting Shar, the Wooden Maven, and
Yeah.
she was recording a commercial, and she's like, "Here's my phone." I'm like, "Oh yes, give it to me." So I'm just like behind the guy filming, getting some video and some shots for her because I'm like, these are things that she'd never have if there were, if somebody didn't just come and say, "Hey, I want to visit you," you know?
Exactly. Exactly. We get it.
Mm-hmm.
We understand.
Yeah.
Even sometimes they're saying, "Hey, can you get? Oh yeah, give it here. I'll do this."
Yeah,
And sometimes
exactly.
like their shots are totally way
Oh,
better than
so
our own
much better.
because they're able to get the detail and the things of us that we would normally think of. So I
I
get it.
always envy the couples that work together that record
I
each other.
know.
I'm like, you jerks.
I know. I know. I was like, every time I watch a husband and a wife couple, I'm like, oh, must be nice.
But then I think about all the interfighting that must be happening under the scenes.
See, right? Or who's
I'm
gonna
a
do what?
realist. Yeah.
Right? Who's gonna do what?
Yes. But I'm always the one standing.
You see? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to record today. I want to do this.
But you didn't even get me my favorite chips either for a snack. So no. So I feel like you quickly like grew your business to the point where you have now a big space dedicated to that. Like, how did you get to the point to make that leap?
You know, realistically, it was because somebody was hating.
Really? Oh, okay. Tell me,
Mhm.
tell me.
Right? I got a call from the city of Sacramento about somebody saying there was odor coming from my house. And I was like,
Oh, Jesus.
that's what I said. I was like, what? I was like, an odor? And they was like, you run your business at
Polyurethane.
your home. Girl, it wasn't even that.
No.
No, because there was no, like, this was before, like, I even learned about finishes like that. I used Ruby on
Got
Monaco,
you.
so I
Okay.
was using the oil-based stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't have anywhere to actually put the finish
Spray.
on and
Yeah.
know exactly and know how to put it on correctly. It was like if I wasn't doing a small piece, I was like, I'm not about to paint this on. This is just like painting a hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I started using the Rubio Monaco because I could rub it in.
Yeah.
And
That
it
makes
was,
sense.
like it was easier to just kind of slab it on there. And if I needed to add more, rub that in and spread that out. So
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even using like that type of stuff for what they were saying. And they
So
was
it
like,
was
so
just
when yeah, so they came, they were like, it says that there's a no, I think he was trying to say, is there an odor or is there something? He was like, and I said, I build furniture. So you're not even
yeah.
calling me about a noise complaint for tools. You're not calling me about having sawdust on the ground. You're talking about an odor. I said, I build furniture. What do you mean there's an odor? You smell wood? Like, what? What the heck? You know what I mean? I was like, I don't
Yeah.
understand how to say that. I'm not going to tell you I paint furniture. I'm not going to tell you I stain furniture. I said I build furniture. So whatever, I said, come. What do they smell? Come out here and smell my house because I have never heard anybody tell me there's an odor coming from my house. But I think the person who was complaining couldn't even give a real complaint. So they had to
Mm-hmm.
lie about something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when I
Just they
told the
had to
guy
just
that I
say the
built
right things to get somebody to go see
exactly,
you. Yeah.
exactly, right? Or to call or something because that's what
Yep.
they did. They gave me a phone call and they told me that they got a complaint about my business. And I was like, about what? And I was thinking that it was because of me using my tools.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I don't use it after a certain time because plus it gets dark and I can't see in my garage. You know what I mean? So by 5
Yeah.
o'clock, I'm done because the light sucks in my garage. Two, I'm not starting at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. So that couldn't be it. But that's what I was thinking. And that's not even what it was. He told me that somebody was saying, and he couldn't even say it was a neighbor because all of my neighbors who live around me think what I do is so cool that they've all come over and asked me to make them something, or
That's
they just
awesome.
want to see what I'm doing, right? So I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
know it can't be my neighbors. The people across the street, we know. The people next door, we know. The people catty corner, we know. Every time somebody sees me, they're waving at me. So I was like, it can't be my neighbors because if it was, I would have known that I was doing something that they didn't like. You know what I mean? People make that
Yeah,
known when
that's
you
so
do something.
tough. Yeah, no, you do.
Yeah.
I constantly check in with my neighbors just to make sure
Yes.
like I'm good with them because
Right.
sometimes I will work really late because that's where I excel sometimes. Like not
I get that,
super
right?
late,
I
but
get
like
that.
sometimes I'll just keep drifting into the night. And
Hmm.
it's like, okay, this is still cool. They're like, yeah, we can't hear you. I'm like, all right.
Right.
It's like,
That's what I was trying to figure out. I was like,
mhm.
I wanted to know that if that was an issue. And they were like, no, 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 you're fine, you're fine. But I knew it. I wasn't even out there that late because I couldn't see after a certain amount of time,
Yeah,
after a certain
yeah.
time. So when the guy called me about it, oh, when the guy called me about it and I asked him about that, I said, what am I supposed to do about that then? Because if you're telling me I have a complaint, but it's an odor, like, how do I fix that when I don't smell anything and nobody else has complained about this? He's like, you know
Yeah.
what? He's like, you build furniture? I said, yes. I said, so he's like, so there's nothing you don't use. What did he say? You don't use varnish or like, he tried
A
to make me seem
shellac.
like,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
trying to
shellac. That's what it was. I was like, nope.
same the
I was like,
smelly stuff. I say shellack's
exactly. I
pretty
was like,
smelly.
nope. And even if I did use that, there would be no way anybody could smell that because that would be there and then gone, right after it
Yeah,
was
it
done.
doesn't last long.
Exactly. So who would be around that long to say, "Oh my God, that smells so bad," and to go home and call? Like no, there's no way that would
You've got
even
me
been.
so scared. I have new neighbors moving in, and I'm like, ooh,
Oh
I
no.
hope they like me. Ooh, I hope
See,
they
yeah, and
like me.
but you know what? I think neighbors once they get to know who you are
Yes,
and they see
yeah.
what you do and what
Hmm.
it'll be cool. You know what I mean?
He
And
seems pretty
I
cool.
think
The
it's
guy was flipping a house, and now he's considering buying it. So he already kind of said, like, you do something with wood over there, huh? And I'm like, yeah.
see, so he's probably
So
looking at you like, I wonder what she can make
yeah.
me.
Yeah, exactly. I hope so. I'm like, hey, if he's a professional flipper of houses, it's a good person to know.
Yeah. See, so yeah, that was that's. I'm sure that it won't be. horrible
One
if
can
they're
hope.
already if they're already
So
scoping you out, you know.
that complaint
But
though, so that shifted
oh, so
everything
yeah,
for
so the
you.
guy, when I was talking to him about it, he was like, "You know what?" Because I told him, I was like, "Nope, I don't use any of that stuff." I was like, "I just build furniture. I use wood." So
Mhm.
like there's trees everywhere. So I know there's no way that you can tell me that a piece of wood stinks, right?
Yeah.
So then don't live anywhere because there's trees everywhere, right? And that's where the
Yeah.
wood that I'm cutting up comes from. So he pretty much is like, you know what? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna just tell them to contact air traffic control if they have an issue to contact them, and then they can come out there and figure out what the smell is or something. I was like, okay, thank you. And then that was the end of that. But because of the fact that they found my address to complain about my house, that somebody was gonna come to my house, um, about what it was, I was like, I need to find another spot to do what I'm doing in, just in case somebody else with malicious intent tries to do the same thing and got people coming to my house. So that was my whole thing, was that I don't want anybody coming to my house, you know what I mean, trying to
Mhm.
be nasty because of whatever situation they feel in some type of way about. So I started looking for warehouse spaces. Well, I actually just started looking for spaces to lease. And it took me a minute to even find spots because I got turned down a lot because of a new business. They wanted a bunch of money up front. And I'm
Oh,
like,
I bet.
there's no way. Yeah, I was like, there's no way I have that based off of what you think I make to give you anything that's gonna make, you know what I mean? Like if
Mhm.
I'm a new business, you think I'm gonna give you everything to move into this spot and then have nothing?
You're
I
right.
stay in my garage, you know?
Like, how am I gonna
It
buy
wasn't even like it
supplies?
was, yeah, exactly. I was like, it wasn't a necessity at that time. It
Mhm.
wasn't until I started like really gaining momentum that it was just like, okay, now I can really see myself getting out of here, because at that point it was like I really have no space because I couldn't keep more than one order in my garage at a time. And then when I would be waiting for people to come pick up their orders, it was like,
Yeah.
shoot, I'm trying to start a new order, but I can't because I don't have space because the person who I've already made their order for hasn't picked up yet, you know? So
I noticed that
that
you
was,
have a few projects going on at once, and I'm like, "Man, it's
yeah.
gotta be so nice to be able to do that."
That's what right? I was just saying that. I was
Yeah.
like, I have 4 tables in my shop right now that I would have not even been able to remember that 7-foot huge one? Did you see that one?
Mhm. Oh, yeah, no,
Right,
I
right, I was
scroll.
like, I wouldn't yeah, I was like, there would be no way that I could even have that in my shop. I mean, in my garage, yeah, and everything else that was in it. So,
Mhm.
yeah, no, it was like it came along at the right time, and then I'm able to, like, take on more because of that. Like, I can start 2 orders at a time instead of 1, get that done, move it, trying to, finagle around it and stuff like that. So I can get supplies for multiple orders at a time, glue up one while I'm waiting, while I'm cleaning up one, and then swap. So it's been helpful to have that space because I was recognizing that I was limited on space as I
Mhm.
was, you know, expanding in a sense, or well, taking on more orders in my garage. So yeah, and I
That's
stumbled upon this spot.
yeah, I was
And
gonna say,
that's all I'm
how'd you
saying. This
find the
one too.
spot you have?
So I was looking on LoopNet, and I was looking for, warehouse spaces that was close to me. And I found a ton of spots that were in Rancho Cordova, and that's like 30 minutes from me. And every time I would drive out there to look at those spots, I was like, I'm still driving. I'm not even there yet. And it's been, you know what I mean? It's been 20 minutes and I'm
Yeah.
still on the freeway. And I just recognized that I was like, I don't want to be that far from home because I'll be driving forever just to get to the spot and having to deal with that coming home also. And then if I needed supplies, if I needed to pick up my kids for whatever reason, it was just, it was going to be a hassle. So I was like, maybe that area isn't the best, even though they had majority of the spaces out in that
Mhm.
area. So I just kind of kept looking, and then also too, it was almost like I was just gonna take any spot that came available that said yes, because it was
Yes.
like I was almost getting desperate.
Mhm.
And then there was one that was like the next street up from my house, and the guy that was working with it. At first he told me, he was like, yeah, he's like, they said yes, but they want 3 months rent up front. And I was like, here we go again. I was like,
Yeah.
I said, I can't do that. If they can come up with one, oh no, I said, if I'm giving you 3 months rent up front, I was like, are y'all giving me 3 months free rent when I move in? Because
Mhm.
everybody else was doing that deal. Another
So pay
leasing
us
agent
now
was,
so we know we have
yeah,
at least secure payments, essentially.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they were like, "Oh no, they're not gonna do that." I was like, "Then oh no, I'm not gonna do that either. Like, how you gonna take 3 months up front and then expect me to pay you after I just paid you three
Yes.
months rent?" Right? So, and then he went back and to negotiate some things, and then ended up telling me, "Okay, they'll do one month rent plus the deposit," and I was like, "Oh, that I can work with." So when he told me what that was, I was like, okay. So I started, trying to save up everything that I got to be able to put down as I was taking orders. And then it took a minute because then, once they got the whole lease and everything, it was like, oh, now we got to make the space look nice. Now we got to get your
Mm-hmm.
insurance, and now we got to get this. And I was just like, but come on, y'all. Like, what else do you need? This should have been told to me when we were first, looking at everything, because now I'm checking in like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
It's like
And then
buying
they're
a
like, oh, we
car. It's
need this.
never the price on
Yeah.
the door. You know
But
what I mean?
yeah, right. Going back and forth. And
Mm-hmm.
because I'm new to this too, I had no idea that what they need. And the crazy thing about that is they told me I needed insurance. So I went with the company that I saw on Instagram next. I was like, okay, signed up for their insurance, sent it to them. I was like, oh no, we need this $1 million policy, this umbrella insurance. We need you to have this liability. It was just like,
Yeah.
wait, what? So I went back to the company I got the insurance with, and they was like, oh, we don't offer those things. And I was like, I just paid you. What do you
Yeah.
mean? Right. So I had to cancel that, find another company who did it, and then tell them everything they needed so that I could say, this is what they need. Can you do this? Yes or no before I sign up again. And then that company ended up being able to get me what I needed. And then I sent it to them. And I sent it to, so when I got the insurance policy, I responded back to the same person who sent me the copy of what I needed, thinking I was sending it to the leasing agent. So that whole
Oh.
week, I'm waiting to hear. I know that whole week I'm waiting to
Oh.
hear from the leasing agent, thinking they got it. And when I went to follow up, I looked at the email above it and I was like, I didn't even send it to them. So I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So then I, of course, sent it to them, and then she responded right away. But it was just like, gosh. So I went a whole week of just waiting because I sent it to the wrong person.
There's just so many little things like that that just keep getting
It
in your
is,
way
especially
when
when
you're
you
doing
don't
stuff.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But if you get through it and you keep pushing through it, it's amazing. Like
Mm-hmm.
you like, I did that. I don't know how I
Mm-hmm.
did that, but I did it. Like, and now it's done. And finally I can move
Exactly.
on, like
Exactly. So that was really just for me, like learning a whole learning process with it. It's like what I needed to get for the space. Of course, I had to get it was like moving into a new house. Like I had to
mm-hmm.
turn on lights. I had to call SMUD and PG&E and
Yeah.
garbage. And I was like, well, dang, I gotta have all this here too.
Yup. Oh, I want a space so bad one day, but no, I'm not near the time like ready for it. But yeah,
Mm,
I'm not looking forward to
I
do any of
understand.
that stuff.
Yeah, right. I was like, I understand. It was just like, even for me, like, I even got nervous. Like, can I do this?
Mm-hmm.
Like after realizing what I needed to move into a spot and pay for things, and you know, I was like, God, can I continue to do this? Am I going to be able to do this? And then orders come in. You're like, okay, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Here we go. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? And then it's like, okay, then stuff happens, and you're like, okay, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to make it again?
Yeah.
So.
It's a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
I go from one day feeling so positive, the world is mine, to the next day like I don't know. I don't know. Like, should I just go find a job? Like, what should I,
Right,
like,
right.
why am I doing this? Like, why am I working so hard? And then
So
you like the
hard,
next day you're so
exactly.
excited that you did it, like
Yes,
it's
I feel
really
you.
tough to do this.
It is. I totally feel you. I was thinking that, like, so in June was rough for me.
And just a quick interruption of the episode, which was really hard to do because I'm really loving this conversation. But I did want to talk about the Carve With Us competition that I'm hosting at Sabretooth. And the theme of it is Halloween. So if you have never seen these competitions, this is our second one so far. It's open to all US and Canadian residents. And the theme of it is Halloween decor, right? So You can make a carving whatever size you want. The only real rule is that it must be carved between August 1st and August 31st. And then you must use saber-tooth burrs. So that is the only rule for that. So if you are curious about carving, you've been thinking about it, and you want to dive in, there is a newbie category. So if it's been 1 year or less that you have for carving experience with our burrs, then you can join to that one. And if you've been using them for a while, a year plus, you would join in on the pro category. So check that out. It's all over our Instagram, and make sure you sign up for the newsletter so that way you don't miss out on any coupons and mailings about contests. All right, back to the episode.
June, I didn't get a single order until June 20th. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this sucks, right?
Yes.
So I was
No,
like, I
June was
needed to
really
find
hard.
something. Yeah, I was like, I needed to find something to do, because I was like, I don't know how I'm going, like, am I going to have enough money to make rent next month if I have nothing right now? And then on June 20th came, and then somebody was like, oh, I'm ready to place my order. I was like, oh my God, really? So I got one order that day. The next day I got 2 orders. And then like 2 days later, I got 2 more orders. I was like, oh my gosh. But they came in so quick, like back to back, that it was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like, oh shit. Okay. Now I have all of these orders. Okay.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. And of course, you telling people, oh, it's a 2-week turnaround time, because I'm thinking one order at a time. That's all it's going to take me.
Yep.
And that totally changed once I got those orders back to back like that, because the person that I thought was going to come in before ended up emailing me. He was like, hey, we're going to wait a little while. And I was like, shoot, now I don't know if it's going to be a 2-week turnaround time for you, because somebody who ended up talking to me after you booked before you placed your order, right? So I was
Some
like,
people are fast.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what happened. So the person who placed their order before the girl that I was already talking to, who ended up postponing her order, she placed it the day after somebody booked a table. And I was like, well, now, your order is now after hers. So you have to wait, because she got in before you.
Yeah.
They were cool about it. You know what I mean? It was just the fact that, like, you give people information thinking they're going to book then they wait and they're expecting the same thing after they book. And it's like, wait, that's based off of the time you book. So now I tell you, at the time you book,
I say that's how you learn.
Yeah, exactly. After you book, we'll figure out the time frame, because if we're talking right now, I can give you a time frame for right now. But if you're going to book later on, I can't guarantee that that's going to be the same thing later on, based off of us having this conversation right now. I know my workload right now,
I've definitely had that happen to me. People will talk to you for a while about wanting something, and then it's like all of a sudden they just place the order. You're like, oh, well, now I'm at a different point in my life. Like the circumstances have changed, and now I've got to deal with this. Oh God. Like something that you're exciting for could be something that you're like, how am I going to fit this all in? Like, I did a post recently talking about, like, if you're running a small business right now and it's summer, like, we're not okay. Like,
I saw that.
Because like I was feeling it. Like, I have these kids home, and normally I could do probably all this stuff. Like, I could normally make it happen while they're at school. I know, like, there was a schedule. I finally got used to it after a year of it, and I can make it work. But now, like, they're home and all of these different opportunities are coming, which is amazing. But they all are coming at the same time right now.
At the same time, yes.
And I'm just like,
and it's summer.
Oh, yes. And it's summer. Like, legit, I had to post a video today for Sabertooth, and I'm back and forth email, and I'm like, I am working on it. It's just like really tough right now, because my kids are trying to play a video game on the other side of the wall, and they keep going like, oh, dude, even though I just asked them to be quiet, like,
right.
And you don't want to like punish your kids for having fun. But
I know.
Like, can you have the fun down the hall in your room? No, the
Please.
big TV.
Or just a little quieter.
Yeah.
Right? Can you just a little quieter?
It's 7-year-old boys. They don't have quiet mode.
No, they don't.
They're just they don't. Loud.
Yeah, I was like, and don't have kids be same age together either, because girls with their friends, girls with boys, girls with cousins. Like, come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I have twins. I have
Like,
two of the
yeah,
same age all the time
see,
sitting
all the
together.
time. Yeah, right. Just in each other's faces,
They're
going
done with
full.
each other.
Oh my gosh, right? Off each other's energy, or
Mm-hmm.
just want to be annoying to the other person because they want
Yep,
to.
because they're bored.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah,
mom's trying to
yeah. My
work while
daughter,
we're just sitting here at home bored.
right? I was recording a video for door hinges, and my daughter wanted to pop her head in and put the peace sign up. I was like, "This girl, this is not just for fun." I was like, "This is content, woo!" And at the end, she wanted to do a what's it called? A peace sign at the end of the
Mm.
video, just playing. Even after I told her, I was like, Erin, you can't be in the video. Move. I gotta put that's my daughter's name. I was like, I need to put this is for a company. I can't have you in the background playing around like that. And so even after I told her and I redid the video after seeing her head back there doing the peace sign, she popped over like trying to see if she can see me while I'm in
Yeah.
the video. And I was
They
like, "Will
just
you
don't get it.
move?"
Like you can
Right?
express it as much as you want,
I
but
know.
to them, it's still I just gotta go harass mom because it's funny.
That's She was like, "I just want to be in your video."
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Now they just want to make videos like I have all the time. I'm like, oh, I do want to do it for you though. I'm like, soon, soon. I told everybody I'm going to be that YouTube mom making videos for their kids playing video games because, gosh, that's the only way for me to think about I could succeed on YouTube right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Those horrible videos where they just do voiceovers after they play a
Isn't that
game.
crazy?
Oh,
Isn't that crazy?
it
Like, I
is.
remember watching my kids watch that. I was like, "This is what y'all watch?"
Yes, me and my husband get so angry. I'm like, what value are you getting from this? Like, you're just watching people be annoying. I don't get it. But apparently, I'm going to be making that content soon enough. Wait for it.
See?
Super twins,
So
here it comes.
yeah, it's so crazy because I was like, I was even trying to see like, oh, maybe it's like interesting. I think I was down there for all of like 2 or 3 minutes, and I was like, I'm
I'm
over
out.
this.
Yeah.
I am over this. This is so. It's probably because I'm not into the game the way they are, but
Yes.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like
you know,
Minecraft or just other stuff like that for me, at least for my kids. I'm just like, no, thank you.
yeah, I don't have to watch that.
You're very
Right?
fortunate. So
Yeah, like I don't have to
I
watch
know we're
that.
running out of time. But I wanted to ask kind of what is your vision as you continue on with all of this?
You know, I I would love to have a show, to be honest. I
Oh, me
think
too. Go
I
tell me
know,
about it.
I
Tell me about
know,
your show.
right? So I'm trying to showcase like the beginning of a build as the customer comes in, what they want, how we kind of design it in a sense. Of course, I have to tweak all of that stuff because right now, like, I don't know SketchUp. I can only go
Yep.
off of like inspiration photos unless they're sending me the table that I've already made. And it's like, there's no point in me sending you a sketch of that because I can make it because
Yes.
it's me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You reached out to me about a table I've already made.
But to
So
design new
depending on
concepts, yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? So like as
Mm-hmm.
people come to me with certain things, like every time I see somebody showing it on SketchUp, I'm like, that is so cool that you could do that. But I would love to design a piece, showcase it, see how it all comes together, take them on the whole journey of me going to the lumberyard, picking out their wood, talking about the wood that they chose and where it's going to go on their house, build it. And then I would want them to be able to like see how it is in their home once it's done, or if they're coming to pick it up, that they're sending me a photo of it at the end if I'm not delivering, just something along those lines where it's
I
the
love it.
whole, like, you get to see your whole build process. Because I was noticing that was pretty much how I got the following I did, was because people were so invested in what I was making that they were so interactive. Like when I would post stain colors, like, which one should I do for here? And I would do test samples and have them vote. Okay. Or like, do you think this color goes with this color? And they would vote, So it was like, it was a
Mm-hmm.
fun, interactive process, the way I was as I was learning all of this stuff and how people were invested in it. And then them asking, as I was just making stuff to learn how to make, people were saying, I want that. Are you serious? You know what I mean? I'm gonna buy that. How much are you selling that for? I was like, well, shoot, I hadn't even thought about it. I'm learning. I'm just trying to know if I can make this. So it's been like a cool journey to have that happen the way it does. And I think that would be really fun to showcase that whole process, even though, reels are 30 to 60 seconds that you don't really get to see. But the questions that people ask during the reels, they're like, dude, how did you do this? How did you get that? What did you use this for? Why did you do that? You know what I mean? To be able to answer questions
when you're doing
in longer
your
content form.
reels, I've noticed like your husband's interviewing you. Is he asking you questions that other people have asked you?
So that's not my husband.
Oh, not your husband.
Yeah,
Ooh,
no,
scandalous.
yeah,
Now we're getting
no,
into
I know,
it.
huh? Okay.
Tell me about this
No, so
mysterious man.
I know, right? This is a friend of the family, and he is totally into like video editing. That
Oh,
when he
there you
came into
go.
the
That's a very good friend of
when
the
he came
family.
into the shop and he came in and started recording, when he put together a video of just him doing something like when he came in, I was like, that's cool. And he
Yeah.
was like, yeah, he's like, I have a drone. I was like, oh, okay. And I had no idea anything about, a drone or nothing. I was like, oh, that's great. And I saw one of his videos. I was like, you did this yourself? He was like, yeah. I was like, man, like you would totally help me with mine. And he was like, oh yeah, I'd
Yeah.
be down to do that. And I was like, for real? He's like, yeah. So he would come in and he would just film me while I was working. Like he wouldn't even like we had no rhyme or reason to it. It was just pretty much us. He was like, okay, I'm gonna just follow you around. He's like, do you mind if I ask you some questions? Just to kind of see, because he's like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if it's helpful for you to explain what you're doing to people. It's like, no, that's cool, because when I'm by myself, we're not thinking of talking to the camera. You know what I mean?
I
I'm
try to
focused on
stop
the
and like do it because obviously I get paid to do it, but it's tough.
It is because that's not even where my focus was when I
You're
was doing
building.
this.
Yeah.
Right, exactly, exactly. So I'm over here trying to make sure I get the shot of what I'm doing so that when I get the finished product, I have the whole, you know what I mean? The whole thing to show. But he started asking me questions during the build, and I was like, dude, this is cool. Or he would like get me while I'm like in the process of looking for something, and that would be content, or I would be walking somewhere and he's filming my boots, or he's watching me pick up something, and that's just, me doing something that I wouldn't even normally record myself doing. He's getting all these shots. And I was like, when he showed them to me at the end, I was like, no, this is cool.
No, they're awesome.
So
Like
he's
I noticed
yeah,
when
thanks.
it started happening, like it was definitely a
Yeah.
different style of content. And I was like,
Right?
ooh, it's like we're already on a show. We're already on your
Yeah.
show. So I love that.
See? Right? And I was
Yeah.
hoping for that too, because I was like, when
It's the
he would
right
come in
vibe. No,
with
100%.
oh, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, when he would come in for like just recording, he's seeing things I don't see, right? Like I'll set up my tripod, press record, and just do what I need to do. And then when I get ready to do something else, move the angle so I'm not just standing in front of, in the same spot over and over again. And he's coming in getting the live stuff. He's getting me moving. He's getting me picking
Yes.
up stuff. He's having the camera move while I move.
The
It's
things
not
our
just a
husbands won't do for us.
right, right. So
Well, if you're
yeah, so I
not
was like,
into it, you can't force somebody. I
at
think that's
all, at
all of
all.
us have learned. It's
Yes.
like it's not worth it,
No,
So
it's not.
if you
It's
can
not.
find
And he
somebody
said
who
this.
has that interest, it's dope.
Yes. Yep. And he said it doesn't feel like work to him. He's like, he
Yeah.
comes in, he's like, man, this is so cool. He's like, this is great. And then like even like I said, as he's asking me, because he has no idea what I'm doing, he knows
Mm-hmm.
what, he's gonna ask me, so what are you doing right now? I was like, oh, I'm doing this for this. And he's like, okay, what does that mean? I'm like, oh shoot, you don't know the lingo. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, this means this. And he's recording me saying these things. And when I go through all the videos that he's giving me, I was like, oh, that'd be a cool reel. Oh, that's a cool reel. Oh, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you're just
So
like plucking
I would
them.
just take yeah. So as he just gave me all the content that he recorded, I'll go through and either use some for like the YouTube videos that I'll do, or I'll take some of the shots and, put them in reels and stuff like that so that I have content, because the way he records, it's so dope to me that I'm just like, it's not a time lapse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what you're getting in
Yep.
stories and in videos, because we only have so much
You
time
have to
to
choose your focus. Like
exactly,
what's going to give me the best benefit for my time? For
exactly.
you, you're making your income off of building these tables and you're
Yes,
selling them on marketplace. So if Instagram
yes.
is not the one bringing your income to you, then why would you focus on that for your energy unless you had that desire, like you said, you do, to have your own, show or series. So
Yes. Yes.
I'm sure you're torn because like you want to get the stuff done. You also want to build on that show. So like, are you working on making your own show and just doing it on YouTube? Like making it since you already have a
Yes.
friend? Okay.
Yes. So that's, well, see, so each build that I do, I
Mm-hmm.
am now making sure I have content for it for each table that I make. Or each whatever I'm making, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whatever I make,
Highlight
well, of
whatever
course, right now,
project.
yeah, exactly. So right now it's, tables because that's kind of what people are wanting right now. So I have that for each, you know, table that I'm making so that I'm able to split it up into longer content so you can, and then doing voiceovers and then talking about the build of the customer, what they wanted, and, how we went through the whole, um, how we got here type thing.
So
Like
it's really
the,
tying into how you started with the blogging. It's
yes,
just
yes.
a whole different way.
Now it's,
It's
yep, now
awesome.
it's video.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a natural
Right. It's
progression
funny that
though.
you put two and two together like that. I didn't
Yeah.
even think that, but totally makes sense.
I did just stalk you. So,
See, okay.
you've forgotten
I
these
just
things and now I'm putting it all to the surface.
right, yeah, makes sense. But also too, like for the latest YouTube video I just posted on Sunday, the table um that you were saying, the one that that was giving me trouble, I
Yes.
finished it. I finished the
Oh.
video. And of course, I'm still working on her table because she came in after I had done the YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
Um, After I had edited and everything, and was like, "Oh, the same color is too dark." So that video's out now. And I'm talking about, yeah, right. And
As
I'm
a
talking
finished
about her
piece.
table. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about her table during the process, but I think I'm gonna do like a little follow-up of it and be like, and I had to change it because it was too dark. You know what I mean? Like after.
You got to
Like
do
I'll
one of
probably
those
just
little
do like a little update of it. Um, type thing, because it's like finished the whole video once it was done, uploaded it, did the whole voiceover, got all the content for it, and put it on, scheduled it to come out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And totally forgot that I had already scheduled it to come out when she was um telling me I need to come see the table. And I was like, dude. So yeah, I was like, well, it posted already, so
It is
it's
what it
done.
is for now. For
Exactly,
now.
right. So that one is completed, even though I'm still kind of like, hmm.
I did watch that video, by the way, and I love all
Uh-huh.
the different shots that you got from the drone and stuff like for your opening.
Thank
Like
you.
those are awesome and it really adds to it. So I'm so glad that your friend got involved. Like
Yeah,
it
me
just
too. And
helps
that's
you
what I was.
elevate.
See, and that's what I was saying. The stuff I put in there, he was like, "This is cool because it's part of the story. It's part of you." I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"See, I didn't even think to do any of that." As I was
The
just like all
B-roll.
the stuff that he gave. Yes, all the stuff that he gave me. I was just like, I would have never thought to add in there, but he has that eye for it. He's like, even
Mm-hmm.
if it's not the me telling the story, it's part of it because it's part. It was part of the build. I did all of this stuff
Mm-hmm.
during the build of it. So
No, well, I can't wait to keep watching all of this progress because it's
oh.
already you're going at like such a crazy level of how you just keep going. And I just love it. Like you are determined, you're motivated, and nothing stands in your way from what I'm seeing. So that's why I really wanted to get together today because I was like, she's just killing it. Like
Oh, thank
she's
you.
making moves. So I did. I wanted to hang out for that. And I feel remiss if we don't talk about the name Work Boots and Glasses. Like,
Yeah.
what made you go to that change? Now, obviously, glasses are part of your life. Like we can see
Yes.
there's just so many pairs. But
Right.
when did you decide like that's my name, that's me, that's who I am?
So, because I knew repurpose and design was temporarily. Well, yeah, it
Yep.
was
It was just like
temporary.
a
I
holder.
needed exactly. I needed something once I started doing this in a way that was representative, like representing me more so.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, because of how my name is spelled, I couldn't just use my name because I have a apostrophe in it.
Yes.
And I was
Yep.
like, I don't want it to go. I don't want to go in automatically telling people this is my name off top and it's wrong,
Yeah.
because my name is already a name that people don't say correctly. so,
I assume
so I was like,
Deandra.
yes, it is Deandra, but
Okay.
because I
All right.
can't put the apostrophe in there,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing people say is Dondra or
Yeah.
Don, or what is your name? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
My
Because they
name has
don't want to
been
mess it
butchered.
up.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. My name has been butchered so much that it's like I'm already going to set you up for failure if I use it and it's not correct. So
Mm-hmm.
I need something that's going to represent me being quirky, but also something that I use that you could that you would know. Oh, that's her.
Mm-hmm. It
So I
distinguishes you.
knew exactly. I knew I needed something that was gonna be like fun.
Yeah.
But I was like, I know I wear glasses all the time, and that was something that people always commented on because I didn't wear the same pair every day.
Yep.
That I was like, wait a minute, okay, how about, you know what I mean? I was like, work boots and glasses. I was like, because I put on my work boots first before I pick my glasses. And
Yeah.
I have, and because I was getting more pairs that people reaching out to me for sponsored content for work boots, I was like, what about that? And I was like, okay, let's rock with that. And I found, like, I went on Instagram, put that handle in, and it was available. And
You're
I
like,
went and
yes.
yes, I'm right. And then I went to make sure that the website was domain name was
You've
available.
been there
And I was
before.
like, right, okay. So when I saw those two went together, I was like, I'm doing it. And I was like, I have to. Both of them are available right now. I'm doing it. And I just bought the domain name, put it in as my handle, changed it, and was like, what do you think of the new name? And people were like, this is cool. I love the name change. I was like, well, thank
100%.
you. Because, right? Because I was like, that's what it is. So,
I'm done.
exactly. At least for now. You know what I mean? Because the crazy thing is, I
Mhm.
have a a guy on Instagram who calls me Boots as my name when he responds or comments on any of my stuff. And I was like, that is so cool that I like it. So,
Yeah. No, totally.
uh,
I could foresee for sure, like me, if you had to make like a furniture company name that was different, if
mm-hmm.
you wanted to. But yeah, like as your persona, like I feel like that definitely is like it is you. It's fun to have that. Like I've become Night Carver, like
Yes,
I've taken
yes,
that from nowhere and I feel like I've made it something now. So I'm like,
yes.
it's
See,
nice.
to have something, yes, that represents
Feels
you, that
right.
is not exactly, that's not necessarily your name, in a sense where, yeah, that'd be cool if that was what I was doing, if I had that
Hmm.
brand. That's like, maybe even down the line, if I get a little bit more sophisticated, you
Yes.
know what I mean, that things might change. But I was like, right now I am, if you know me at all, I am goofy, I am trying to put a smile on your face. I'm
Hmm.
trying to make sure you have a good time when you're watching, being engaged and all that stuff. And as it's me, right?
Yeah.
It's me. So
Well, thank you for coming on. I'm super excited and this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed
oh,
chatting with
good.
us.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was really cool just to like get to know you more because I've been following for a
Yeah.
while and I think you bring joy to people.
Oh, yay. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love your stuff too. I think what you do is dope. So,
Thank you.
girl, I be watching you as well. I like every time I see your stuff, I stop and watch, and I'm like, ooh, what's she making now? you
Oh,
know.
get ready. I'm carving a big 3-foot Chucky doll next.
See
The
that, girl?
bride
You
of
gonna
Chucky.
scare
The bride
me,
of
right?
Chucky.
Oh man, the stuff that you make, I'm like, dang, that's dope. But
That's why
you are gonna freak me out with that.
some people who follow me, I feel bad. Like when I know I'm going to really be leaning into horror, I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh man, I'm going to give nightmares. Like I put a
I know.
disclaimer on my story the other day. I was
You
like,
have to,
warning,
right? You have to,
warning.
especially if you're gonna do it up that way too.
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know.
it is Chucky. Chucky is that thing that scarred everybody when they were little.
Yes.
So
Yes.
once they start seeing that, they're like, oh no, no.
Yeah. Yep. I know. As soon as when I saw the turkey, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Well,
He
and it's
made
funny
that.
because
Oh.
Sabretooth's like, you should do another Chucky. And I was like, really? Because I was not gonna go there. I was like, well,
No. Okay.
okay.
See. You're like, I guess I will then.
If y'all are gonna approve it, then
There
sure, I
right.
will. All right.
Yeah.
Well, have a good night. Thank you
Thank
again.
you.
I'm super stoked that you had time because
Yeah.
Starbond is stepping in as a sponsor. And yes, and
Nice.
I really wanted you on there for my second episode with them. So I was like, yay, this is exciting.
Oh, cool, cool, cool. Yay. Nice.
Yes. So you're part of the
Yay.
Sabretooth and Starbond
Whoop,
episode. I know.
whoop.
I can't handle Patreon. It was just too exhausting. And I'm like, I just need more
See,
sponsors.
I get it. Somebody was asking me about that too. I was like, I don't even know how to ask you for money.
I hate
You
it.
know what I
I
mean?
used to add it on the podcast and
Right.
I just stopped. I'm like, I can't even ask anymore for money. Like
Yeah.
it's not fun.
It's not. It's
Go
not,
buy some art if you want to support me, people.
See, thank you. Just buy something.
Buy what I
Just
make.
buy. Right? Yeah. Even if it's just a coaster or a cutting board. You know what I mean?
Seriously,
It don't have to
or a
be the
couple
big thing. If
stickers,
you
you know?
right. Yeah. See?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Cause that was kind of like, I don't know how to do this. Somebody was
Yeah.
like, yeah, Patreon. I was like, no, but I'm gonna make one because you asked. But then I was like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, exactly. If you want to support us artists, just buy what we make.
That's it. Yep. That needs to be a disclaimer, right?
Right?
Right
I'll make a new
there.
infomercial for that.
Yes,
Hi, I'm
and I'll
Tiffany.
be in
Want
there.
to
I'll be in
support
there.
me?
I coast, but I approve this message.
Yes. Oh my God. All right. We're going to collab later.
Yes.
Have a great night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I hope you guys enjoyed listening to Deandra's episode. She is amazing, and I'm so glad she had time to sit down and chat so that we could get to know each other a little bit better. And she was exactly how I thought she'd be, just full of personality and great vibes. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and a huge thank you to those who did support me on Patreon. I love you all, and you guys taking that time and that extra money, which I know every cent counts, seriously. Just felt so amazing, and I really appreciate you all. So thank you for sticking it in with me. I haven't been able to post anything extra there in months, and I'm glad that I'm no longer trying to focus on it. It's just overwhelming and too much. So thank you all again for that support. And thank you all for listening. I hope you had a great time, and I'll see you at Maker Camp. Speaking of Maker Camp, the next episode is actually going to be with Austin from Maker Camp. So look forward to that. Have a great day.